I was shaking listening to him talk, because a lot of people don't know that is one step away from Nazi propaganda coming out of his mouth.
Shut the fuck up. Ann Jones at CNN.
Oh my God, he went there. This is the presidential potential candidate for the Republican Party telling CNN Van Jones to shut the fuck up. Now, it's not just the first time in the last few weeks that somebody with, let's just say, power has told sponsors or has told the mainstream media to fuck off or shut the fuck up. Now, this means there is a turning of the tide, and we just can't deny it. Now, in this speech that he did, Vivek did a few good points, and I'm going to go through the whole speech on the right angle, but that's going to be a separate video. But let's just go through and see exactly why I do believe that he should be the presidential candidate of 2024, and it's got nothing to do with hating on Trump. I will say this again, he can come there with a fresh pair of legs. Nobody will want to or can use any type of court systems, any type of impeachment, anything like that. And also, he holds the invisibility cloak that we all know and we've all come to understand now. So I think for the next 4 years, America and the free world need to have a more conservative actions and need to have more conservative people there. And if those are the ones that can expose the corrupt agenda that's going on, then so be it. We need to stop what's going on. So we need to use our best soldiers we can. But let's go and have a look at this.
Told me this 5 years ago, 3 years ago. I wouldn't have believed you, but I now have my views that are a product of my experiences. We got to open our eyes to see that disease of dishonesty. The same government that has lied to us about not only what happened on 9/11, but the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, about the basis for the 2008 bailouts and the financial crisis, about the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that never was, about the Hunter Biden laptop story, which we absolutely know to be true.
He's going through the same things as what people are telling us is a conspiracy theory, but it's a fact. We know that. The Hunter Biden laptop story was the biggest censorship of any type of social media. In fact, I would say because of what was going on only a few months afterwards of the presidential elections, I would say it was more of a censorship than what COVID was, because that was an ongoing battle. But here is a presidential candidate who is willing to speak about those and willing to expose it all. And that's something that we don't get. That's something that we don't see.
About exactly what happened on January 6th, to the origin of COVID-19, to the Nashville transgender shooter manifesto, to how our own money is being spent in Ukraine today. We demand a government that tells us the truth again in this country.
That's what is going on globally. We need governments to start speaking the truth. I don't even know how we got to this position where our governments globally at the same time have all decided to work against the people, have all decided to be enemies of the people. We can say they're enemy combatants because this is a war. This is a war that we are fighting, and we've been fighting it for a long time. But now it's coming around to those election cycles. We've got to make sure, especially in the UK, that we don't just go and change from Conservative to Labour because that's the one. We need to be opening our eyes and seeing who the independent people are, or who the people are going to be working for the constituency. Yes, we might not be able to do anything, but I urge all independent MPs to follow the mandate. And that's the mandate that I will be doing. And that is the mandate to be able to expose what's going on in Westminster and tell you exactly who the people are pulling the strings of the people who are making the laws in the UK. So the only thing you need to stand on is exposure, because that's all we would be able to do really as an independent. But like I said, if we can get 50 independent MPs in a time when there's going to be a coalition government, we are going to be the ones in power, because without our votes nothing will go through. So we will be able to dictate to them what we and our constituents demand, and it has to be for England. It has to be for the people.
That's what we require. We can handle the truth. That's what it means to be a citizen of this country. So I say that on that last debate stage to a bunch of Republicans that are shaking in their boots. These are the things you're not supposed to say in the Republican Party even today. And then you get the mainstream media. You got this character, Van Jones, on CNN afterwards saying, this is the rise of an American demagogue who's going to live 50 years longer than Trump. This is dangerous. I am shaking. That's what he says.
Why is it dangerous? Why would Van Jones say it's dangerous? And I'll tell you why it's dangerous. That Vivek will be living a lot longer than a lot of these people. It's because he will be speaking the truth for a lot longer. And it's going to be harder for them, even though they're imposing their people now. They're imposing their children to make sure there's 55 different genders or there's 102 genders. They don't even know what they're talking about. But they're following a Marxist ideology. That's all they are repeating. They are parrots. They are puppets. But when people still are free thinking and people are on the main stage free thinking, they're still going to be a threat for at least a generation to come.
Just shut the fuck up. At a certain point, just shut the fuck up. Van Jones at CNN, we're done with it. And I think you got to ask yourself, why am I the only candidate in this race who can say certain things?
Vivek, I can tell you exactly why. It's because you, like me, like Candace Owens, like Jacinta Price, like all the other black, brown patriots who are willing to stand with indigenous white people, with the white people of the world who can understand and have the ability to speak out against the wrong that's going on. To make sure that white people still have their voice. They will continue to have their voice because their voice is more important. And we need to make sure that the Africans, Middle Easterns, all types of cultures that are not compatible with the West are stopped being flooded into these countries. Now, we've got it from Europe. America has it from Mexico. You now have things going on in New Zealand and Australia. This is not an accident. This is a plan to destroy white people. And do you know what? Because we're on about Van Jones, let's end this with what he's saying is happening. Because it's all right coming from me. I'm a right-wing conservative. Let's hear from the blacks of the left and see exactly what they want.
Asking the white majority to do something is difficult. And I think it'd be easier if we just acknowledge that it's difficult. No ethnic majority group in 10,000 years of human history that I could find ever went from being a majority to being a minority and liked it. And that's basically the request from the racial justice left, is that we want the white majority to go from being a majority to being a minority and like it. That's a tough request. And the reality is that change is hard. Change that you want is hard. Change that is good is hard.